Good evening and welcome to a behind the scenes episode of our Alien stream. But before we delve into the questions you've sent in and talk about the motives and hidden agendas, for the final time, I'll let the players introduce themselves and their characters.
Hi, my name is Katrina, and I played the now very deceased Leah Davis.
Hello, my name is Örjan, and I played the role of Lyron Chan, or as the character of Katrina used to call him, Champ.
Hello, I'm Christian. I played the role of Carl Bry, mighty pirate.
Corporate
pirates.
Corporate pirate.
Sailing the
Yeah,
seas
corporate.
of...
Yeah, well.
No, the corporate seas of cheese. No,
Accountancy. The accountancy.
that. It was
And,
that, yeah. The accountancies of cheese?
Cheese.
Yes. Well, that were the player characters of the crew of the Montero, along with the two NPC characters, the corporate agent Wilson and the captain of the ship Miller. So yeah, well, for that I'll give you the word to handle the Q&A session. Oh yeah, and
Yeah, of course. And we'll start with a very interesting question sent in today, actually. Who the fuck is this Christian dude?
Good question.
Yeah.
What kind of answer do you want?
I want about 2/3 truth and 1/3 funny.
So, okay. So you're saying the truth isn't funny because I was born a poor black man, and
Yeah, sure you were.
am I the only one here
Nope.
who enjoyed Steve
the
Martin?
jerk is a brilliant.
The Jerk
Get away
is
from
a
the
great
cans!
movie. Yes. Okay. I am the master of bad humor.
This is true.
Yes, I've known Tarjei and Örjan for
Since junior high
how many
school.
years now? Yeah. And then somewhere along the line, I met Katrina. So I've been watching you guys play, and when you asked me to come along, I came along because you promised candy.
Virtual candy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. So we gave him
Um,
Candy Crush.
Yes. Other than that, I'm done some game design in my time, mostly with a game called Victoriana, which is now about to be released in a new edition. I'm not involved in that new edition, but it looks good. And I work at a university.
And there you actually work with games as well.
Yeah,
for a
I'm
few weeks
doing
now.
a PhD in game studies, which I'm finishing up at this moment. I have to be done now. It's about games and transgressive aesthetics, so about how players and games kind of cross boundaries.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I like horror games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a short and sweet of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I've been around for some time.
This is true. And you're also involved with a con in Bergen.
Yeah, RainCon, the local role-playing and board game con here in Bergen, Norway, which is due to be now soon in October, in a couple of weeks, on the 8th to the 10th of October. It's going to be great. We even have an international guest this year, so I'm really looking forward to it. One of my old friends from Krakow, who is an expert on Tolkien, is going to GM the One Ring second edition for us.
So another Free League game.
Oh yeah, we love Free League.
Yeah. I think they're great.
Yeah, they really done a great job with the alien, that's for sure.
Oh, the gameplay is, or the mechanics is so easy. It is like it's just show up
Yeah.
and have fun. Literally.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And you can create some really good storytelling through their mechanics.
Yeah, the mechanics
There's no
is
me- there-
it's not coming in the way of telling the story, I think, and having fun with
No.
it.
And you can use well, it's not too much rules. You have the skills and the rules you need for this setting. Nothing
Yeah.
more, because the rest you most probably really don't need to roll.
For sure.
Sure.
It's a pretty simple design, but I think what makes it stand apart from other B League games is the stress
I
dice.
love it.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. There are similar kind of mechanics in the different B League games.
This fits
But,
this fits the theme
this one-
and the theme
Yeah.
and the universe very well. It really emphasizes an important part of the setting and of the story and of the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a brilliant take on stress.
Yeah.
Because often in-game mechanics, when you add stress or this kind of emotional pressure on characters, you subtract dice. It becomes a liability.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stressed. But in Alien, it adds to your abilities, but at the same
Yeah.
time
It ups the
adds
ante.
risk to every roll.
Yeah, it's the same with blood dice in Vampire V5,
Yeah. Yeah.
just with other
Yeah.
another scale.
Yeah,
on the,
sure,
on
sure.
the-
I haven't played the new Vampire myself, so
I like
I haven't.
like the system.
Cool.
Cool.
Cool. I'm more of a
Oh.
mage
Oh,
and werewolf
he's
man.
such
you
a
know.
he's such a bro now. Cool. Alright, bro. Cool.
Cool.
Well, we can go to the to our game itself, and our personal objects throughout the story.
Your hidden agendas.
What were they?
I think
Yeah.
mine was blatantly obvious. I think I like ranted and raved about it continuously through the campaign. Pills, pill bottles, chasing the high, chasing the adrenaline. Go get the nooms.
Yeah.
Straight up. That was mine.
Mine was I was the big brother of the ship. I was supposed to try to take care of my fellow crewmates, which I actually seemed to be really hard because that was like wrangling,
Cats.
herding cats. Yeah, a bit of a scruffy looking nerf herder maybe. I didn't manage to save our pilot from herself. No, that was.
Was that an
Impressive.
agenda?
No, I was just supposed to save, try to save everybody.
Hey.
That was my agenda. And if worst comes to worst, then yeah, give my life for the crew. That was the last agenda. But
I
Our,
beat you to it. I beat
you
So
you
you ended up
to
taking
it.
a life for the crew
Yeah.
instead.
yeah, yeah, shit happens.
And
Our pirate.
Yeah. Well, it started out nice enough, right? So here's the arc. Carl Rye was, a hardworking dude. He wanted to provide for his family, especially his brother, and they were in need of money. There were some health issues, and you know how it is. And so it started out. I wanted to make sure that I had could make as much money on the run as possible. And then, as the agenda developed, I was supposed to make sure that I got anything of value from the ship. And then the last agenda was, whatever the cost, make a fucking profit. Need to get the money to my brother, whether I survive or not. So my initial plan at the end there was to just smuggle everything aboard the pod and let you guys go with it. So, and to make with the last will and testament, so that the profits would go to
Aw.
my brother. So I was going to sacrifice myself as well, but you were just better at it. You're better at sacrificing yourself, which is natural.
Well,
I was obviously a pirate.
well, I was
Yeah.
interpreting Leah's constant run for adrenaline. Mine was don't be bored. It's a very classic action hero character, I think. there to create situations. It's a bit of a monkey wrench character, where if you see an opportunity to do something risque, that is what the character would do, the way I interpret her. And in the end, I thought like then sacrificing yourself would be like the greatest thrill of all.
Yeah, I think Tanya gave us the exact right character for
Yeah.
each and
Yeah, because
each of us. I think it was
yeah,
that was a good choice.
yeah, like I said, the two NPCs that are from the material is also fully playable, so you can play with five players total. And the reason I chose those three because I thought I didn't want to maximize on player conflict, which could have been more clear and more defined if I used some of the other characters mixed with some of the ones I did choose. But with only three players, I thought it was better to have a bit more low key, different, pulling in different sort of directions rather than any potential open conflict. Because it's a bit boring with one is job isolated from the rest. And it was worked better. And plus, I thought with the different motives and the different angles coming at it, it was an interesting mix of characters. Everything from like getting high, like searching adrenaline, and like wanting to like just don't let the bad guys win, do whatever you can to chase that high, to the get some profit for personal reasons, for family reasons, to the poor bastard who had to try to keep the rest of them all alive.
I feel bad for you, Arjan. We were like, yeah, two feral cats just running around, like opening doors and poking shit we probably shouldn't poke.
Well, it created some good scenes. Definitely did.
Yeah.
Question for the DM. Players have a tendency to fuck up everything. What did you plan for that didn't
What I
happen?
planned for it didn't happen. Well, I quite like the structuring of the adventure. It's written quite well. It's separated into 3 acts, which lines well with the which is the way they have sort of structured cinematic adventures. Introduction, tension building, escalation, and full on resolve a conflict. And within those 3 acts, there are all like some mandatory events that has to happen, some that can happen that you can include whether or not you want to. So from the offset, there were a couple of things that didn't want to happen, which I'm not going to use this at all. Whereas when we played from the choices you guys made, there were some that naturally excluded themselves, whereas others naturally became quite apparent had to be in there. So I wouldn't say it's so much things that I planned for that I didn't have to do, because that sort of that went quite smoothly in that way because you followed it quite regularly. It's more what you did that I didn't think you hadn't prepared for to do. It's more that angle of a problem. Part of it has to do with dice rolling. And one thing, you guys survived. Well, at least Little Davis purposely killed herself. That sort of surprised me a bit, particularly in two instances, which had largely to do with, well, first of all, good choices, but also good rolling. One was the one shooting match that Carl did, where he actually rolled good for once, where he didn't run empty when a poor monster had no chance, absolutely no chance. He just blew it to smithereens. The other one was in the air scrubbing unit with a fight with Cham, where he's banging loose at this monster and he's actually doing damage. It's insane. They have armor, so much armor. It shouldn't be happening, but I quite firmly plus that I didn't want to fudge dice rolls. I wanted that it's lethal. Combat is supposed to be lethal, so we'll instead strictly to that. So that's the mechanical part of it that sort of threw me for a loop. The other were two-parted. It was one, the constant communication you guys used the onboard your microphone in campsites that I hadn't really anticipated because it wasn't really covered in the booklet or in the adventure. I could have, of course, said, it's interference, you couldn't do it. You had forced you guys to use the onboard terminals and intercom instead. But I thought it was okay. I mean, role-playing, after all, is communication. And by isolating you guys even more, it would be much more just GM player. And I prefer more player versus player interaction. So I didn't think that really was... And it didn't take that much away from it, from a suspense either, because you guys were quite well at jumping at what to show, when to withhold, both from sensible things, from your own personal motives, but also from what lent to good storytelling. So I think that worked well, particularly when only audio was used to like, what the hell is going on, and to build that suspension and tension for your individual characters. I think that worked quite well, but I hadn't really thought of that ahead of time. And likewise was using the polling med pods to scan for any changes to try to find out if your DNA had been. That's also not covered in the adventure at all, but it makes sense. At the very least, it makes sense it would be able to detect mutations after they started to happen, because it's actually a physical. Because after is quite. I mean, there are quite literal physical changes that are happening to your body. So it would determine that. And the adventure does give you like a percentage of a chance of the time when it fails. But initially it's meant that more and more players should be, in fact, like should be becoming abominations. But I just went, okay, I'm gonna let the dice decide this. So I rolled percentage die for all three, and you all three made it. So good for you.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's very disappointing.
Well, I didn't make it, but
Yeah, no, but you all made the roll. I mean, another way, of course, would have been if you. It's a great way for storytellers to want to give someone an opportunity. I mean, especially for Cham, I would say, if I actually made him infected, it would like pushed him even harder to like sacrifice himself to story ship to protect the others. But also it would make that choice easier. So I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad it was left up to hard choice, and I'm glad that Leah took it. I think it's good story wise.
Yeah, it suited the.
It really did.
It suited the story. I like this. I like this story. I like the.
It's the
I like
alien
the mechanics
universe.
of this. Yeah, but this is the thing I really like about the cinematic rules, especially the cinematic rules, is how we can how you play upon failure, how the failure dice are there to make the story more interesting, to push the story, because failure gives story.
Yeah.
Success.
Yeah, it was fun, but
it's fun, but it doesn't.
And it also
give
fits very well
story.
with some of the key elements of the films as well, where of course failure is the narrative-driven part that makes things happen. It's the failure to keep the alien off the ship in Alien. It's the failure of the Marines to really understand what they're dealing with and how dangerous it is that puts up the whole situation, and the failure of the rescue ship in the second. So it's really inherent in the storytelling as well. Like aligns very well with the film, with the feeling and the theme you have from the movies. So it's just another part where actually the mechanics quite well fits the existing source material.
I think the game also really captures the claustrophobic and tight space of the crafts, that you are in deep dark space. You get the feeling of you can't run away from the situation, and you're forced to act to survive. I think it's got a really sense of borderline panic, determination. Everything feels important of what you do.
Yeah.
Which is a cool feeling.
And it really, I mean, of course, I think also it helps both the GM and the players that everyone has, mostly I would guess most people who will play the game have a clear visual understanding of the universe, of the aesthetics of it, of the premise of it. So it's easy to identify, it's easy to immerse yourself into it, to imagine it. It gives you a lot to play on as well. So yeah, now I really think they've done a terrific job, as like I said before, to capture that in that role playing game. And I think it's because I've played a little bit of campaign, like non-cinematic before this as a GM, and there's quite a difference there. And I think it's also quite different modes of playing, which makes it really interesting. It's a game where you can mix those two type of playing with different groups. You won't tire of the game that easy. It will stay fresh, even though it's quite familiar, basic setting of it.
Yeah, and the whole story also reminded me of a project me and Tarjei and two others had in when we were in high school. We called we had it's almost dogmatic in style. We called the project Trapped. We created a series of one night game sessions, and we removed the rules. No rules. We never used the rules. No rules. No dice roll whatsoever. It was just the mechanic was role playing, and the first story was very similar to this.
Because I like this
story.
because like this is also the Chariot of the Gods is also it comes when if you were Kickstarter, you got it in a Kickstarting box along with the main rules setting. And I like that it's the first full-on mission. Like there's a short introduction, only the third act that is included within the main book itself, whereas this is the first complete scenario that they put out. And I like that it wasn't the original Alien, like it wasn't a facehugger, it wasn't the good old xenomorphs. It actually works because that also keeps the players a bit on their toes. Because when you go in, you might expect like the classic Alien Nostromo situation, but it's with a twist, and that quite works. And I think it worked would work well even for those who might not be the biggest fans of the new movies of Prometheus and Covenant, and for the engineers and all that, because the core element of the horror story is really well managed, which also brings back to the fact that it limits also the number of players. I mean, like you have 3 characters here, and it ups the ante a bit.
Yeah, it's scary in space, regardless if you know the Alien universe or not. I don't feel
for me this the Alien RPG helped me make more sense of the movies. Of the last 2 movies. Gave me a more in-depth understanding of actually the concept of the movies and why it connects the 2 last movies with the 2 first. I think
it's a well-written book and a well-researched.
Yes.
The author his job is basically putting together these Bibles, first for Predator and then for Alien, putting it together and seeing how actually does this world fit and work with all the material that is out there with the game.
And they did a good job with that.
So fitting it all together.
Because there are there's elements in there that's not just from the movies. I mean, the computer game Alien Isolation is fully compatible with the story. Like the Novgorod, the station is mentioned, and you also have elements from some of the novels that are not directly they're alluded to. They're not directly explained or referenced, but they're alluded to. So it's quite open for a GM to incorporate extended lore into the setting as you please.
As it always should be in any game, even if it's based in a very known universe. As a storyteller, you can say, "Fuck it, I don't like that," and then create your own.
And I think it could, for some, it could be sort of it could be a difficult thing to do that with something that is pre-existing in the film. But the way it is written, it's really easy to do. It will feel quite natural and organic, and it's easy to include or to exclude whatever you as a storyteller or players don't want to have in it. And also the fact that you can drive a lot of cinematic adventures opens up for that as well, because you can do one cinematic that is set in like a completely ulterior, alien universe in that sense, and have a campaign that takes place in another. So it really opens up to explore different possibilities.
My takeaway, I would at some point love to write a cinematic scenario for Alien, where I play on, first of all, the preconceived notions of what Alien is, right? So you expect an alien, and then make a scenario where all you do is build that paranoia and build up that expectation, and it's no aliens. Nothing. It's just people going crazy over nothing. I want that.
Space crazy.
Yes.
Smurfs.
Definitely.
But that would be mean. That's what I hear. I've heard I'm mean.
Oh,
I mean, 2 of my favorite GMs are right here along with us now, and I both love and hate you both.
Yeah. New question. Favorite scenes from the story and from the Alien movies?
Oof.
I'll let you players go first, and I'll go
Well,
last.
since Katrina made the first sound, she can go first.
I have very like vivid, almost gonna say childhood memories of watching, especially Aliens, as very young. I was allowed to watch horror movies from a very young age because my parents, they figured that I knew it was just fantasy and not reality. And I didn't have nightmares, so I got to see. And when I remember vividly when I saw Aliens, and when you see, I just remember the skyline when you see the ship that has like crashed there, the first telltale sign where you see that, like you see the shape of the ship and the Marines are going there, and then just the desolation and the scary atmosphere of not knowing what they're going into. For me, that's the first scene that pops in, and the second scene is when the two Marines very emotionally blow themselves up when all the aliens are coming crawling. I think that's just a very intense, beautiful action horror scene of self-sacrifice. I think it's very well directed. It gives a whole hell of a lot.
And particularly because the two have been sort of the main antagonists, like they behave against each other as well.
Yeah. I think it's well directed, it's well acted, shot, everything. Aliens is a movie masterpiece in my mind. For me, actually, my favorite scene, and it's quite actually in the beginning, because I was like, oh my god, I went to my significant other and said, I got to drive a spaceship. And I was like, I've never driven a spaceship in a game before. I want to drive more spaceships.
What?
I've never. I was like, oh my
What?
gosh, I want to drive more spaceships.
Does this mean
You're playing Star Wars with me? You're playing Star Wars with me.
I was supposed to to say the same thing. That means we can get Katrina on a Star Wars.
I just want to
yes.
drive shit in space. Yes, please.
I think this also says something about Katrina's level of immersion.
Yes.
Yeah, because she actually believes she.
Oh, I was driving it. I was literally in my mind's eye. I was like thinking how the ship would move and how you drive it. I was like, oh my god, why haven't I done this before? I love this.
Yeah.
So that's my.
I think my favorite scene is also from the beginning. That moment when we found this derelict ship and put the spotlights on the Kronos.
The Chariot of the Gods.
Yes, this enormous big thing that has been floating through space for almost 80 years. And just meeting something like that in dead space. There is nothing around you. There's absolutely nothing.
It sets
And
the
then
stage so beautifully.
It sets the stage, yeah. That actually gave me goosebumps, and that, yeah. In the Alien movies, for me, is maybe not a scene. It's more a sound. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That just sets the.
It makes you
the
nervous
stage.
immediately.
It makes you nervous. Yeah. And for me also, I saw the Aliens. That was the first of the movies I saw. So for me, that movie is my favorite.
As well.
Amongst them, yeah. Alien 4, not so much. 3, I liked. Even though it completely fucks up a lot of things, but
on the prison planet.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver is just a beautiful, nasty ass biatch in the 3,
Yeah.
and I salute her. And I love the goodiness, and I love that they tried to show the alien there for the first time when the alien took the Rottweiler. And that's then they showed us very clearly, like the alien and then the virus, or what you want to call it, takes characteristics from the host.
Yes.
And we saw that then for the first time. Oh, they don't just look like that xenomorph.
Yeah.
They take traits. And I think that's the first time we really
really explain that.
The forest, just
But
ridiculous.
and also
Forest is-
in the three, another element is like there's some really good casting done. There's a really good actors, really great actors along it.
yes.
But I still
Yes.
wish we had Alien Book 1 instead. But that is, I mean,
Yeah.
I find it particularly tough when you dies off screen. That is, that's
Newt,
just sad.
that was hard to swallow. That Newt, such a good aliens, such a good great cast. Oh my god, and that you didn't get to see Newt. That felt very wasted.
Plus, and it also felt a lot, also because at a large degree it felt that was more due to who they could get to do the film, which is about the same thing I have against Covenant and not having Noomi Rapace, and it's again feels more of a casting issue than a like deliberate, well pre-planned idea.
Yeah.
Oops, they died off screen. Whoops.
Okay, but anyway, sorry to interrupt.
But yeah, side note.
Yeah. Well, of course, the best moment in all the Alien movies is, of course, the ending of Alien 4.
when he sucked out of the hole.
When the abomination finally dies.
No, when he watches Earth from the window.
Did you know that? Have you seen the Alien 4? He's got the same nose as me.
Yes. Which is why we love it.
Have you seen it? I don't know if the camera can catch us. My nose goes straight up. And when I saw Alien 4, I'm like, oh, brother from another mother, yo.
But okay, my favorite moment in the movies is actually from the first one, from the original Alien, when they first come into the spaceship and see the remains of the pilot, right in the pilot seat. That image has stuck with me for so many years, which is why I always felt a bit let down by Prometheus and Covenant, because it didn't live up to that kind of promise for me. But that's subjective and very personal. So I like the movies other than that. But it is also why I love Book 1, which is just a great comic. So that's me. I'm strange that way. I like dead people and aliens.
Welcome.
Yeah, fond childhood memories of looking at dead people.
Same.
Yes. As for now, there are many great moments in this playthrough. It's hard to pick one exactly. I think overall, I love the kind of the exchanges we had in between ourselves, which were always funny. It was hard not to be laughing all the time. But if I'm going to pick a moment for me as a player and my character, it would be the first encounter with the alien, and going full auto and feeling that stress of what the fuck is going on here and pulling the trigger. Yeah, I enjoy a good kind of game over. It's game over kind of scene.
Yeah.
Just, ah!
I really like that moment where you found out you're a pirate.
Yes.
You is a pirate.
Yeah.
That was a slow realization.
You is a
Damn
pirate.
But I was
Roam
meant
the
to
sea.
be trim sails and roam the seas.
Space.
Yeah.
This might be. Well, okay. Favorite scene from the Alien movies. I have sort of the same experience with Alien as Katrina talked about with Aliens, because I also got to see horror movies from a quite young age. I mean, also Jaws when I was 6, which left me with a lifelong love for sharks, which might say something.
Beautiful creature.
But I
Beautiful.
remember the first time I got to see Alien. It's just when they land on LV 426, and just the sound, the noise, the ship is touching on. It's the tension in that scene is like so scary that I actually didn't see the rest of the film. That I like went to bed instead. Actually, I was like, because sat up like building the tension in just that one scene is so masterly done. But I mean, there's so many you could take. I mean, of course, everyone would talk about the infamous chest burster scene, which is like iconic. But I think I will go for that. Just like the detached front end of the Nostromo, when it decouples the refinery drags and it lands. That landing scene is just is wonderful. And also there's what they really did, what I really felt they did so successfully in Alien is one that there's the 7 passengers, and you really get a feel for all of them before everything starts. That sort of misses in Prometheus. There are too many characters. You can't really invest the same level of emotion into all of them. But you really can. And a lot of that's because of small little key scenes, such as when Ripley goes down to check with the repairs, and Yepet Kuthu and Harry Dean Stanton are intentionally cranking up the sound. They could turn it off and talk to her, but they don't. As well as her exchange with Ash when she realizes it's more of a warning and not an SOS. And he says, why do you go after them? By the time you reach them, they'll know whether it's a warning or not. You know, all these little key scene buildings that Alien does to really signalize who the characters are. And really gives you a feel for who they are
And
as
I think
people.
that
And really, it's masterfully done, as well as Ripley trying to keep them off the ship when they come back with the thing attached, because it's safety of the crew, safety of the ship, safety of everyone. It's such a small key element that sets up the characters in such a wonderful way that gives a real depth to it.
I completely agree with that, and I do not mind the new ones. There are elements that I find absolutely distressingly bad, which is the black Smurf alien in Prometheus. I was sitting watching it in the cinema, and my sister, I'm like, oh, garden gnome, we're going in that direction. Didn't see that coming.
Well, they are terrifying.
I mean,
They
and
are
also
scary,
they
but
show
they-
more. I mean, that is one of the things that Alien also really well. A lot of it happens in darkness, in enclosed areas. It's more about like when Dallas is taken, it's like you don't really see it happening. You see this flash of it coming towards them. That sort of tension building, it really often works well to create more horror instead of stark terror. It's more suspension building.
100%. It is the fact, actually what Christian said as well, is that the fact of not knowing and not really seeing is more horrifying than seeing 100 xenomorphs in bright daylight. That's just, oh, that's a cool scene. Oh, that's a lot of aliens. But when it's when it's
your
like,
own imagination,
when it's
is so much worse.
And I think actually the Alien 3, which also got a lot of backlash for not being good enough, it captures very much of the darkness and the claustrophobic feeling, again, that you're trapped, and it has the edge on you. You feel like it's hunting you.
Yeah.
Not just 100 of them.
Alien 3 works. Conceptually, Alien 3 works.
Yeah.
But it was something in the performance of it, or in the execution of it, that just didn't live up to the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
What?
No, but then we'll go across our favorite scenes. I'm gonna pick one for each of you. I'm gonna pick them from different places as well. We're gonna start chronicling, work backwards. I love when Leah, like the decision she makes when she like, I'm gonna build a ship. I'm gonna end this threat. I'm gonna save the rest of them, and I'm gonna take one for the team and just go out and blaze of glory. That's great, and it so really builds up their characters with her decisions to play music and all that. That part was great. Yeah,
Great,
and they're like asking Ava 6 for a cigarette at the end, like yeah, fuck it, like.
But I think it's like a 90s, 80s
Yeah,
thing
it really,
so like they're gonna ask for a cigarette.
So that going over then to how the decision that threw the GM off, like I didn't see it coming, but it makes sense because it makes a hard choice of protecting the crew and his friends by sacrificing Reed. Actually, when Cham shoots her in the head, like the fuck. Well, that went dark quick, but it makes so perfect sense for like having to take that. Like, okay, I'm gonna be the bad guy by being a good guy by being the bad guy, because he. Yeah, because it was the shit was his family driven. It's like where Carl goes after the money and tries to get things done to protect his family, his brother in particular. Cham does the same thing, but you guys are his family. So that I love that scene. And with Cham and with Carl, I'm gonna go for again right at the beginning because I think it really sets up his character beautifully. It's a little scene and also is a great little homage to Alien. Is this haggling over contracts rights at the very beginning with Wilson.
Yeah,
It's fun for several reasons. One, like I said, is iconic Alien. It captures really the whole corporate versus the little people, the sacrificing. It's good role playing because it really lines up with his character and establishes his character really well. As like I said, they do so well in the films with this little scene. And also it's great fun for the GM to have that sort of back and forth, tag of war, little wordplay, fight with the character is always great fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. So here is a question from one of our new viewers.
Yeah.
Will you play any other Free League games?
Fucking hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Personally,
too. I'm waiting for the Twilight 2000.
me as well. I'm interested to see how they, because I think that could
game.
also work very well with the, and also if they're gonna handle, because that's one thing I also like with the resources handling in the Alien role-playing game. It's really easy, but it also makes it really hard that you do not have infinite of everything. You're gonna run out of air sooner or later, which was quite fun. You guys are worrying about that, like seeing it, the stats rate is going down, and I think that's also they can incorporate that into that as well in a very where the setting and the mechanics seamlessly interweaves, where it doesn't feel forced, when the mechanics doesn't feel forced upon the setting to get a certain way, but actually interacts. So I think that's going to be interesting. I really do love Tales from Loose setting. I love everything about it, but I find it, I think it's really hard. I think that would have been easier to play when we were young. Like, that's a game I wish we had when we were like 14, 15.
Yeah.
But I really, like for young role-playing as you're going to start, I would really recommend that, because, I mean, it might just be us as well, growing up with 80s movies. that whole feeling of like the neglected children having to save the day. I mean, Goonies and all this. You know,
I think it's hard to play a 12 to 14-year-old.
Yeah, it's hard now, but it would be perfect back then.
Comic.
I think.
Yeah. Now it's just a little bit weird.
Yeah.
I would also like to do a short wandering when that comes out. Of course, I have that also coming whenever it's finished.
Oh,
but what I'm most curious about, in one sense, though, which is might tie up to one of the other questions we have. We're not gonna jump the gun on that one, but I think I would like to try. Now that I've tried Alien, tried that space setting, I think it would be fun to try Coriolis.
Yeah.
Space Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a great setting, and I think it's kind of a new take on science fiction, and the kind of on this dark space opera genre, building a lot on Firefly, but going in a more Middle Eastern Arabesque kind of approach.
All the good things.
I love it. So
in short, like,
so the answer would be yes.
And also, I mean, I could be persuaded
to
try it, but I don't know how well it would fit for streaming, though. The fantasy setting of this, Forbidden Lands.
Forbidden Lands,
I like the setting. How to storytell and create.
This is more created to be played on the go, like to easy to start playing, like without necessarily requiring a load of background. That might be a bit difficult. I mean, that's one of the things that I've a bit of a trouble with Tales from Loop as well, as the whole asking for a scene bit. Like, it feels to a larger degree that the mechanics intruded too much on the narrative. It didn't fit that well hand in hand as it does in Alien. So, well, yeah. But in short, I think we all would like to play more Free League at one point.
Yep. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Just before we're gonna they did win boatloads of Annies. No, the Free League for Alien picked up several, both for the artwork, for the cinematic adventure / long cinematic adventure. It's not really a campaign, but it's also sort of a campaign. The Destroyer of Worlds. I'd love to play that.
Yeah, well, it's well deserved. We have a 9-year-old girl in the house, and she's in love with the movie. She hasn't seen any of the movies or anything.
But the artwork
is
spectacular.
And she will.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh my god!
It's almost like, I mean, it's like you get so much the same feeling you would do as when if you leaf through one of the H.R. Geiger's concept art
Oh,
sketchbook song.
books, yeah.
It's the same sort of it's the same attention to
Gorgeous.
detail and to a consistent, well thought out aesthetic choices. It's like it's worked completely through. It's so consistent and yeah, can't praise him enough.
Amen.
And another question is, will Christian be back?
Willie.
Will he?
Willie.
Well, if you can free us Willie, I'm sure he will
Willie.
come back. But
No. Nope.
well, hopefully, I
None of
mean,
that.
if we could like convince him to at some point GM Coriolis for us.
He is. We have. This has been decided for him. You see, he has no choice in the matter.
Well, there might.
You might have to finish your PhD first, to
a
put it like that.
chance.
First,
I will finish my PhD. Give me a few weeks. And then maybe some Coriolis.
yes.
If you guys think this is a good idea, please,
Yep.
please let us know.
Yep.
If you want more
Do you
Christian,
want the tagline?
let us know.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Sure.
want the tagline?
Fire away.
Yeah.
In space, no one can hear your moans of pleasure.
What the hell are we playing?
It is gonna be great.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
I've only
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of opportunities for pleasure yachts in Coriolis.
What is going on and what are we playing? And should this
what have I got? A
happen? I don't
certain
know.
sort of like
But it is.
certain sort of feeling of elements of Fifth Element meets what's it called, the sci-fi comedy show with Hugh Laurie.
Oh, the
Alf?
the cruise.
Yeah, the cruise ship
No,
thing.
the
I can't remember what
cruise
it's called.
ship
But yeah,
Yeah, that was
Love
a
boats?
strange one.
Which one?
yeah.
That was a strange show.
I can't recall
What
what
was
it's
it
called.
called? Will it return
I don't
for
know.
season 2? Do you know?
Oh, yeah. I know which one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
because
no idea.
The
I'm up for anything with Hugh Laurie. Can he come on the stream? I want to play Coriolis with Hugh
yes,
Laurie.
yes, thank you.
Well, I think you have to use your contacts then, Christian.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Well, those are the questions we've gotten from our viewers this time.
Thank you for those. It's been interesting to answer them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we can talk a little bit about what's coming
Yeah.
next then. I did some digging while cleaning out some closets, and I found this book.
Oh.
I bought in 94. So I'm planning on combining the setting from 94 with 5th edition rules
Ooh.
and do some Ravenlofting.
We're gonna do right.
Off into the mists.
Yes, it will be.
You're gonna have so much fun. I cut my teeth on D&D with Ravenloft and this dude. We had a lot of fun.
I'm
That was
excited.
my first D&D experience.
I'm excited.
I found out I have a lot of the old modules from that TSR made in the 90s.
And isn't that a treat to revisit it with a more modern look as well?
It is. And I actually chose the first adventure I ever storytelled.
Oh, that's even more vintage. I love
So
it.
we're going back to my to my room in 27 years ago.
Shh.
28? 27?
We're
Long
old!
time. Yes. And we're going to play the old TSR module, Hour of the Knife.
Didn't we play that?
I've
Oh,
never
no.
played it.
I played it. I played it
I've
with.
never
It was the
played
first
it.
time
I
I played
might-
D&D as well. Well, a D&D to be more concise in the matter.
Yes,
and with Örjan, and that was Örjan as a storyteller and me as a player, and that was the two of us.
Oh my gosh! How cute are you?
So yeah, but I won't let it spoil the
Yes.
replay. I would love to replay. I don't remember much of it. I don't really. Yeah,
It's
I
27
just
years,
remember.
27
I remember
I was
like
shocked if you did.
I remember being scared, for my character, convinced I'm going to die.
And in this case, because we're losing our beautifully well-dressed Christian, because he has to focus on his PhD, which I don't know if that's priorities. I wouldn't do that, but that's him.
I never had a
Yeah, well.
PhD,
No,
so
so
I
I
don't know.
don't. I don't know. We will have another player that hasn't been on screen before, so that will be interesting. So just please tune in because there will be another surprise guest. I'm just saying that promotional.
Yeah. And it will
And
not...
be kind to him.
Never,
Be kind.
never, never.
No.
I'm in the
no,
triple. I don't
no.
know. I have never met this person. I don't know who he is. So it's gonna be fun meeting another guy.
Yeah. And it's not too far in the future.
It's coming up
It's,
soon.
It's pre-Christmas, you can say.
It's coming very soon.
Yep.
Definitely pre-Christmas. I would also say I would
Pre-Halloween.
dare to say
Here comes
pre-Halloween.
Halloween.
Pre-Halloween.
Here comes Halloween.
Pre-Halloween.
So
We
it's
say
not just
that.
Michael Myers that'll scare you towards Halloween. This will be.
And for you who are new to our channel, there are now a year
Backlog.
worth of
We have a season
episodes.
the first season we did of anything, which was also Hunter, the old World of Darkness. Probably not its most well-known setting, but I love Cortina's take on it, which is set in the same it's a shared universe as the 2 seasons of Vampire the Masquerade we've done. So there are so if you've seen the Vampire Masquerade and not seen Hunter, go back and see it. There's a lot of hints, there's a lot of things that make things more clear as well. Yeah, it's
Easter
both
eggs.
Easter eggs,
There's Easter eggs.
foreshadowing, and essentially a lot of
World
world building.
basically.
And now we have Alien.
Yeah.
So
And
now we have-
yes, and Cthulhu.
Yep,
We
yeah,
also
Cthulhu as
have
well.
Cthulhu.
a short little Cthulhu.
I remember
So
I remember watching Call of Cthulhu with you guys while on morphine in the hospital. It was great.
not always saying that this is the best way to enjoy.
I
our
don't remember
sessions,
much of
I
it, but it was great. It was great.
if there
I think
is-
everyone in the hospital agreed.
Yeah, if there is a drug to be used while playing Call of Cthulhu, I think morphine must be the
Jogger choice. Jogger choice.
Yep.
I do
always.
not. No,
Always.
only if the doctor gives it to you. Don't. We do not advocate drugs at all.
He says,
Okay, if you say
sipping his
so.
whiskey.
Shut your face. Shut your face hole.
No, but Akira says, but
Also,
But-
I'm just. Can I throw a question out to our beautiful viewers?
Please do.
If there is a game you guys are curious about to see us do, I would very much like to know what
oh
would
yeah,
it be.
I mean we do take requests,
I'm
and it
just
would
curious.
could have been a really interesting
Yeah.
challenge for us as well.
Yeah, we have been kind of stuck in our
Lane.
gaming routines
Yeah.
the
Ooh,
last
I wonder what comes going to come up.
20 years, I think.
So
Yeah.
I'm just curious if there is something out there that like we hadn't thought about that could be amazing to try out.
But I mean, be
So,
careful before
yeah.
we know we're gonna have to playing a campaign of I don't know, obscure ones. Christian, help me with obscure tunes. Yeah, tunes. Or macho women with the guns.
Oh, macho when the big. Oh, that's great. Draw the
Paranoia.
line at fatal. That's what I say. Don't
Maybe
Google
not that, but
it. Google it.
no, don't do what he says. He is. He's
my job,
He's
you
bad
know,
influence. Don't
horrible
listen to
stuff.
him. Can we mute him? Can he go dark now? Bye, Christian. You're done. Go to your PhD.
But I was thinking, Elian, when you say people who are new to this channel at this point, I'm first of all, you have to clear up some kind of confusion there, because watching this, if you don't know what's going on, I think they'll be very confused.
Well, hopefully they are intrigued and they will go and look.
Yes.
What are these guys, these weirdos doing? We're nerds. We know nerd things.
Yeah, we
nerd.
Yeah.
We nerd.
Yeah.
But please, and once again, thank you for watching and following us. It's great that people take time out to
It's
see
been
us having fun.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And please comment, follow,
Share.
likes, all that good stuff. Share. Be a part of our community. Yeah, we love this, and we appreciate you guys that love it too.
True that.
True that.
And with that,
Yup.
I think we're signing off.
Yes.
All right. Well, Christian, it was so much fun playing with you.
Yeah, it
You
was.
are
It
a
was.
delicious treat, and I can't wait to be tormented by you.
Oh no, it's gonna be nice, quiet.
Yeah, I'm a
Little
big
miss.
girl. I
Yeah.
got you. I got your numbers.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a pleasure cruise.
And with that, it's a final goodbye from the Montero, and we're signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ja, men det var en bra,
Ja.
søt episode.